What's up? What's up? All my true funk soldiers, club funketeers. I'm coming in hot today. A little old school Earth, Wind, and Fire. Build your nest. I know y'all ain't heard this in a minute. So check this out. Today, y'all are gonna get a sneak peek preview of my ups, my downs, my highs, and my lows. I'm going to be showing you some clips from an interview that I've done with Inspired Voices I'm very proud of. Before we start, Brendan, Ohio, Bootsy and Patty, love you guys. Hit me up. New York, clap your hands like this. Oh yeah, shout out to my dog, Milo Z, bro. Not for nothing, but the Nappy Head Funk Army 2.0 turned it up last night. So shout out to the 919. Y'all always come through, come out and support us, show up and show out. Appreciate that. Shout out to my dog, Diego, Oak City Music Collective, all that good shit. Yeah, man, thank you. And the Poorhouse. Next week we're going to be at Shikori Hills on Friday. Anyway, back to the roll call. Jersey, you in the house, Donna? Long Island, Bayshore, Daryl Holloman, what up? What? North and South Kakalaki, Virginia, what's up, Pat? New Orleans, what's up, Rob? Georgia, Q&A Entertainment. Oklahoma, Dallas, Texas, the Funk of Benji and the crew down that way. April Panthers. 313 to Detroit, Minneapolis, y'all. Chicago, Indiana. For some reason, I wanted to hear this song. Don't ask me why. And no, I don't own the rights to it, so you don't have to sue me. I'm not making any money from it. California. I don't know if you up, LL, but if you are, love you, sweetie. I got some stuff to tell you. Shout out to Darrell Jones, my dog. We're going to be coming with something soon. So we want everybody out there to build your nest and make sure when you build your nest, make sure it's tight. You know, when you build your crew, make sure they tight. In your businesses, make sure they tight. Make sure that everything you do, keep it tight, keep it right, keep it funked, keep it locked down, James Brown tight, as Bootsy would say. Shout out to the Samoans over in Hawaii, Tokyo, Angyang Haseyo, China, Japan, Germany, France. Shout out to DJ Cocolino in Italy and DJ Elisabetta in Ireland. I love your playlist. You be crushing that stuff, sweetie. We got to get you back on the show soon. I'm a little tired, obviously, performed last night. So, I'm just get right to it. Sometimes in life, you have to deal with pain. You have to deal with struggle. You have to deal with things that out of the ordinary. And those are things that will affect your daily life, but don't let it affect your mental and don't let it affect your physical. Also, you know what? Real quick, I'm going to shout this out early. My dog right here. All right. Y'all know what time? Hold on. Y'all know what time that is, right? Okay. That's my dog in Ohio. And the Naphead Funk Army, we are in the funk Hall of Fame, which memorabilia I'll be dropping up there this summer on my mom's birthday in August. I can't even tell you from a little kid on Long Island how much of a vision and dream that was so far away, and now it's reality. So like I say, United we stand, my song, you ain't gotta be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. All right. Shout out to my dog Jeff Robertson. I know I'm gonna see you next week when you come through in May. That's cool. But anyway, getting back to it, sometimes things in life happen and you got to deal with all the pressures of internal stuff. It could be physical, could be mental, could be people around you, could be your circles, could be a lot of different things, But what I think that can help you get through some of these things is a simple thing, some meditation and some prayer. And I try to do that, 3 times a day. I'm not saying do what I do, because I'm no angel, I'm no saint, but I just try to always stay in a place where I try not to get pushed over lines. And sometimes you have to stand up for yourself, and it's okay then to step across, because that's the most important thing. Sometimes it becomes self-preservation, and it's okay to step across. It doesn't mean you're trying to hurt somebody, but you're trying to keep someone from hurting you. And a lot of times, the darkness, the demons, the devils that are out there, they see goodness about to shine in you. So they're going to do everything possible to make that not reality. Because when demons and darkness see good, and it becomes part of their reality, then they know they have to be good, and they don't like that. So that's why they attack you in different ways. But believe me, I'm built for this. There is no demon, no darkness, nothing on this planet out there can attack me. All right. And it's not going to happen. I am too ordained, too blessed, too ordained in the funk. I have so many wonderful friends, people I never met before on social media, just constantly supporting me, constantly sending me love and support. And that's what's going to get me through this battle that I'm dealing with my stage 3 prostate cancer. I'm not ashamed to talk about it. I think that more men should talk about it. I think that it's important. And like I said, I'm just going to keep it real. That's what this show's always been about, organically keeping it real. And of course, keeping me fly, because I'm always going to look fly. I'm always going to look the part. That's the New Yorker in me, son. But today, my producer, Mr. Mark Lee, and I put together a montage of some short video clips that we're going to show some of our guests doing some things, as well as I'm going to drop in some of my personal interviews. I see Mark, he's like, he got a puzzled look on his face. Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of that too, Mark, but don't worry. I'm looking at him now. I see this brow go up. He's like, what are you talking about? See, I'm always throwing stuff at Mark on the last minute. This is what I do. This is why I drive him nuts. Because I think of things at the last minute. What can I say, But yeah, so we're gonna do some I want to say last minute cleaning up before we get into our anniversary month, which will be May. Okay, so in May we're gonna do it hard, man. It's gonna be all of that and then some. Next week I plan on taking off. And I may have a guest host, or I may not. I may just do something that, rerun, because, I'm doing a March for the Homeless speech in Chapel Hill, right? And it's going to go from Chapel Hill to Pittsburgh, I believe. But, everybody in the 919 is going to be out there, news, this and that and the third. And we're marching for homes. We're marching for people to have a decent place to stay, people to have rights, not to be threatened by landlords and things like that, which is illegal, by the way. All right, so y'all landlords out there listening, you just can't be messing with people for no reason. You can't mess with them. You can't mess with their things. You can't mess with their kids. You cannot do that. It is against the law, and you will then end up going to jail. So you better check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right. If you're a landlord out there and you're doing shit like that, you can bully people that don't know the law, and you can throw people out in the street, but don't think they ain't gonna come back at you, because that's the law of the street. And if anybody, ever thinks that somebody is soft and, you take advantage of your kindness, those are the wrong people to mess with. Tell you right now, those are the wrong people to mess with, because when you mess with somebody that has an act of kindness in their heart and the kind streak in their heart all the time, you can only push them so far before they push back, and you may not like that pushback. So just beware of what you do. Be wary. So Mark, let's cue up one of the videos, man. So y'all check this out. This is my dog Oliver Riera, and Mark's going to be pulling them up at random. So I don't even know what they're going to be about. So it's going to be about 10 minutes long. Y'all sit back, funk from the front seat. Dr. B, what up? Philly Dilly, what up, bro? Love you, bro. Missed you, man. I wish you could be here. Go ahead, Mark.
Welcome to another episode of Inspired Voices. My name is Oliver Riera, and this is Zach Robinson.
Hey, what's up, man? Thank you, Oliver. It's a pleasure to be here and share this with all you guys on Inspired Voices. I love the show, man, and it's an honor and a privilege, bro.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Why don't you tell everyone where you're from?
Well, yo, check this out, right?
What you do? What you do?
What I do? Oh, well, that's all good. Yeah, I can do that too. What I do? Right now, I'm rolling with the Nappy Head Funk Army, professional musician. I've been that since I was like maybe 10 years old. And right now I'm just making that funk happen, keeping that funk alive. I got a podcast, Funk from the Front Seat, that we do. And I'm a Club Funky Tea ambassador for Patty and Bootsy Collins. I'm the vice president. So we keeping it all around the world for the funk, keeping it real and making it work, man.
Hey.
Spreading peace and love, bro.
My man.
Yes, sir.
Dude, I love your style, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Like just not even just like just the clothes or anything, but just the vibe. You know what I mean? The way you speak. It's very flowy.
Thank you. You did something for me, man. That was dope when you took our first promo pictures when we first came back.
All right.
From COVID.
That was your first ones after COVID?
That was the first one coming back. Remember we was in the garage?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. And you took those photos, man, and that's what boom, kicked us back in, because everything was stagnant before then. So man, I'm proud of you, bro. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, man.
Number love, man.
Yeah, absolutely. But where you from, man?
Yo, so I was born Long Island, Bayshore. Tiny little town, not really well known, Suffolk County, went to like mostly, middle class, elementary schools and high schools and stuff like that. Bayshore was cool because when I was, coming up in that hippie era, catching the tail end of the 60s and the riots and all of that, we never really saw that. We only kind of dug it when it was coming at our face as kids. But when I used to go in the city, my dad was a Baptist minister. And I used to go to Baltimore on church rides and go to New Jersey and go to Harlem and Brooklyn and see all these bombed out places and building this and that. And it made me question a lot as a kid. I was a suburban kid.
Yeah.
And I was trying to understand why that was that and what happened that I saw on TV with the riots. And on Long Island, it was chill. We didn't know about it until I saw it.
At a young age,
like
how old?
I was like 10 years old when Martin Luther King got shot. I was born in 1958.
Oh, wow.
So, man, I'm like a prehistoric dinosaur that looked good.
Hey, yeah.
I've been blessed with some alien DNA, but we'll talk about that on another show.
But like to be that young and have that awareness between your neighborhood and other neighborhoods.
Yeah.
What made you interested in like finding out?
What it was the music, because gospel music was gospel music. And coming up in the church, my dad was a Baptist minister. I was a PK. So when I would go to these other places and meet these other musicians from Queens, from Brooklyn, from Baltimore, from Jersey, from DC, we would travel there, right? I would be like, wow, I'm part of that, because it's a church community. Back then, the black community, the church was the country club. It was the social hall. It was the political environment. It was the place where you went to get nurtured. It was the place where you went for knowledge. It was the whole thing encompassed in that one ball of wax, the black church. It was the backbone of the community at the time.
Did it feel like a small community, even though it was big?
Yeah, it did, because every Baptist church had their thing. That's why we would battle. You know what I'm saying? You go to Queens, you're going to get your butt kicked if you playing drums and you ain't up on it. And in Brooklyn, they had their style of church. Harlem had their style of church. Long Island, we had our style of church. So when the churches would come together and have these big gospel jubilees, they called them, it would be lots of musicians hanging out backstage, and we would all be talking about it. The contrast was in my high school and junior high school, I grew up listening to Led Zeppelin, Kiss, Blue Oyster Cult, Edgar Winter and the White Trash, Johnny Winter, Chicago. I was listening to Mandrill, Earth, Wind and Fire, Parliament Funkadelic,
so all
Buddy Miles. Yeah, so we were like, in church, you can't play that stuff. But in our garage, that's what we was doing. And that's how Long Island was slightly different, because in the city, they didn't have basements or garages. So they had to practice in other places. Long Island, we had basements.
So bands could come over, parents didn't mind. And that's how we cultivated it. And what every great musician do, and I tell y'all right out there, I'm gonna look in the camera, when you mesh the two, the street, and you got the gospel, those are your best musicians. And that's how I came up under that.
What instruments were you playing at the time?
At the time, my first instrument, believe it or not, was saxophone.
Okay.
Couldn't play it. Chipped my teeth. Couldn't get the reed right.
Did you chip your teeth doing the saxophone?
Yeah, because so I asked my father, I was like, yo, I got to play something else, right?
Yeah.
So then they switched me to upright bass. I played upright bass for 3 years in the orchestra. Right. Couldn't read a note. Was faking it the whole time. What I would do
ear training
is listen to what she was playing. This girl named Laura, she was playing it. I was listening to what she played. Then I'd go home and memorize it and play it and come back and play it. But then they got hip to me after about the 3rd year when I was just jamming, and the orchestra, Mr. Burns, he looked at me and said, "What are you playing?" And I said,
It took them 3 years to realize
it took them 3 years. Y'all was jamming, bro. So he said, all right, you out. So then he said, go to the drum room. And I go to the drum room, and there's nothing but snare drums in there. So I played snare drum, And after that, I remember it was like 1972. And Buddy Miles, Jimi Hendrix and all that. Jimmy had died, but Buddy Miles came out, a live album, and it was at at the Fillmore on Thanksgiving or something. Jimi Hendrix did this thing, and Buddy Miles was a drummer that played and sang. He caught my ear, and I was like, "This guy's playing and singing." I said, "That's it. That's what I want to do." Because I always sang in church.
What about it?
When Buddy Miles played and sang them changes and things like that, it hit my spirit and soul because he was playing with the greatest guitar player ever put down on this planet, Jimi Hendrix. And I said, if Jimi Hendrix this guy is singing in Jimi Hendrix's band, playing and singing at the same time, and I want to be a drummer, I said, I want to play rock, and I want to play with that Jimi Hendrix kind of sound, that rock stuff, and I got to be able to sing. So I started practicing, right? Begged my father for a drum set. And I tell you, Reverend Robertson, my father, love him. God bless him, right? My mother died when I was 7. So I grew up without a mom.
Okay.
So my father always tried to help me and appease what I was doing when it came to instruments.
Okay, so yeah, that's that support.
Yeah, he gave me that. Now my neighbors and everybody laughed. My family laughed, and my friends all laughed at me. Oh, you ain't gonna do nothing with that. Oh, Reverend Robertson, you wasting your money. He said, nah, let him do that, right? So as I started getting better and better, it took me like 2-3 years to really get it, right? Once I got, because I wanted to play football too in high school, and I was doing that, but I was like, nah, the jocks are getting girls, musicians are getting girls. I'd rather be with the musicians.
Yeah.
And I had great mentors.
What, you said it took you a couple of years to kind of nail it down and stuff like that?
Yeah, it did, because there was some really great drummers in Bayshore, that I looked up to. This guy named John Lapel played with a band, Jitterbug Jones. This guy named Rosie Threadgill, to this day, taught me how to spin my sticks. When I spin my sticks, it's in honor of Rosie Tush Threadgill. Howard Beeman, my first mentor, he played guitar. He's the one that taught me how to match my foot and what I'm hearing, and then listen to the band. Be the backbone. Don't just try to be that.
Yeah.
Because, when you first want to play drums, you want to be you're right. It ain't about that, So he taught me the pocket, and they worked on me for 3 years before they let me get in the best band called Manchild. And when I went in, I took Bobby's place, the guy that taught me how to spin, because he wasn't feeling well, and I jumped in and took his spot. And then that's when it kind of took off for me.
So backing up a little bit, when you were in those 3 years learning, how was that for you? Because like 3 years for a kid, right, seems like a long time. So did you have the patience for it?
Yeah.
Were you frustrated?
It was very frustrating. And I'll tell you why. Because there were so many opportunities that I felt I was missing, but I wasn't. And I tried out for bands and didn't make it. I got rejected. So don't let rejection stop you.
Especially when.
Yo, man, that you know what's funny, Mark? Come on in for a minute. I got to tell you about something.
Yeah, go ahead. Man.
What's funny is, bro, I don't even remember. And this was just this past December when I did this interview. I don't even remember those stories that I'm telling. So for me, it's really exciting to sit and watch someone else tell my story on a show and watch it. You know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? It's
Yeah.
like I feel like I'm in the Twilight Zone because I'm here, but then I'm here in the audience, but then I'm watching that. So again, man, shout out to my mom, Hetty Robinson, who saw this in me. Love you. She died when I was 7, but y'all don't know. Like back then, um, there were cultural things happening in New York that weren't really happening in other places. Not that maybe New Orleans, maybe Atlanta, maybe Chicago, maybe Los Angeles, maybe maybe Texas at the time. I'm not sure, but see, in New York, we had something that at that time other states didn't have. We had Broadway.
Mm-hmm.
See, so Hetty used to take me to Broadway plays, bruh. Like Man of La Mancha, Fiddler on the
Right.
Roof. I mean, I seen Sammy Davis, like the one man show he did. I seen little Stevie Wonder playing harmonica. The Motown review at the Apollo. I
Oh
mean,
wow.
that's where she. I guess I don't even maybe I think because she was always she loved Mahalia Jackson was her favorite artist, but and we always played gospel in the house. But she also really loved Lady Day.
Oh
You
yeah.
know and shout out to Billy. And so she would probably want to go to some of these things because my father was always working at night, and I guess she figured it couldn't hurt me, you know. And thank God I'm getting tears now talking about this.
Well, now I can tell that it moves you. It moves you
But
rightfully.
but
Because definitely,
I am so grateful to that woman for doing that. There's no amount of thanks and love um, that I could give to my mom for doing that. And my father as well picked up the torch because by the time I got into playing instruments, he had switched to days because my mom had died. So he had to come to the day shift, right? And I don't know how he did it, man. I swear I don't. We always had nice cars, went on vacations, fishing trips, this and that, and he was buying me instruments. I don't know. Now I know, he was working, with the Masons, and I can't talk about that. So,
right.
but yeah, that man, he made sure, and he was sick while he was doing that, ironically, with cancer, and he made sure that by the time he died when I was 21, I was musically on a path.
Yeah.
And I strayed a lot for the first 10 years on that path. The drugs, the girls, the
Right.
women, the sex, the bands, the arguing, the this, the that, the egos, all of that BS.
Right.
And then once I finally realized and it got serious for me, and then I got even more serious about it, and made it like my business besides working in healthcare, I looked back and I thought, and I can only thank both of them so much, man.
Yeah, it's amazing you bring that up and everything because we got that important holidays that are coming up, and some people will be thinking this coming month and the months ahead about the importance of their parents because May is Mother's Day and June is Father's Day, so they're both around the corner and all along those lines. And I don't know if I've mentioned this to you before. We've known each other, and you're like a brother from another mother, and all in that space. But my mom's birthday is actually going to be in May coming up. So I believe, yes, in the latter part of May. So she'll be, as part of that Gemini holiday, she'll be turning a early 80s. So, but she's still very active and, definitely as a person that keeps me and my brother, as well as her grandkids and the rest of the family in line and everything like that. So that's motherly love as well as that fatherly love, because that I've talked about my dad and his artwork on your show as before. So, I love both of those parents. So I can relate to you having that support. I'm fortunate that mine are still here, and I know that yours are here from an ancestral standpoint. Because as I've told you before, I oftentimes feel that they are guiding us, even if they're not here. Because I lost my grandmother way back in the '80s, But as far as I'm concerned, she is still guiding my journey along with some of the
Oh
other.
yeah, our spiritual ancestors are always with us, man. LL says that all the time. We should thank. Matter of fact, I got to thank my spiritual ancestors right now, so she don't get upset with me. Sorry, so late in the show, LL. I love you. I'm thanking my spiritual ancestors right now, so thank you. And she's gonna be doing some stuff with us soon too. We ain't gonna drop that yet. It's a surprise. But yeah, man, parents are important. And I know I can tell my audience this. I know you be down with your parents all the time. Wherever they call you, whatever they need you, you know, you always are going up to see them, and you know the holidays y'all get together and everything, man. And I'm so happy, man. It's a blessing, man. There's a little bit of part that we're gonna be talking about a little bit. About some of these segments you guys are watching. Today's a special show. We're closing out April. May, we start our anniversary month. Yeah, and it's going to be 4 years, which is totally incredible. I can't believe that. You know, who would have thought that, you know, I figured by now I would have lost interest, but I'm actually gaining interest and actually adding more things. It's all your fault, boy.
You're always planning, you're always engaged, you're always doing things, and of course you're now becoming very much of an activist as well. I know we're going to get to the politics later and everything, but I was going to share with you that I told you I did a couple of things this weekend. 2 of them were walking tours, but I also did this thing called Reimagine the Durham Freeway in the area that's near Hayti, and there was a housing advocate that was at that hearing. There was people from different groups and everything. What I did not realize, and I'm sure you will not be shocked when I tell you this, but where I currently reside and where you used to reside at is actually notorious. The lady told me that they filed the most evictions of anybody in North Carolina and in the Durham area. So I found that very fascinating and wanted to share that with the audience and everything, because I know
people, and we can't talk about their name, but people thought I was bullshitting when I told them I got gentrified out, you know, and I'm working with the pension, and it still happened to me, because see what happens is they're a national corporation, right, and these national corporations, when it comes to housing, they have slipped under the radar with local governments as far as establishing guidelines, because local governments are so busy paying attention to these fools at the top. So people forget you still got to vote for some of these things on your local level, you know, and housing is one of them. That's why now across the country, they've gotten away with being able to gentrify and raise rent every year.
Yep. Like I said,
because they slip through.
Yep. There was a lady that I was talking to. She's actually in that space. I wish I could think of her name, and if I can find her, because I know I can get it from the 2 that organized it, because they're friends of mine and everything, that I can hopefully bring her onto our show, and you can interview her, because I know you'll have some serious questions. But when she told me that this past Tuesday, I was shocked, but not overly shocked. I'll just put it that way. They were they lead the and like you said, we can't say their name, but they lead the amount, and they own several facilities here in the Durham area, and I think in the Triangle, but they lead the amount in the area in terms of filing for evictions in this particular city that we reside in.
Yeah, that's well, hey, that's why we're doing this thing, man. So if you guys are in the 919 and y'all come out, you know, it's going to be May 4th next Saturday, rain or shine, you know, and it's big. This is big, you know, and I've been blessed to, I guess, be a spokesperson for it, you know. I don't know why God chose me for this particular mission. I'm going to accept this mission graciously and be grateful for it. You know, just like I am with the other stuff I'm dealing with. And I'm just going to march forward and push forward, man, you know, and carry that torch, man. I'm trying to put up some of these nice comments that, you know, that people are saying. I appreciate you, Dr. B, man. You know, yes, it's weird to look back and think about all this other stuff that's going on and then still think that, you know, every day is a gift.
Speaking of a gift, like I said, Oliver and me, you had told me about the interview. When you said Oliver, you know, I'm thinking Oliver because you have so many friends, just like I have so many friends. So when folks will say, like even when I tell them I Ray, that I'm going to talk to Mike, or I'll say like a first name, he'll be like, you say that like I'm supposed to know who it is, and all along those lines. And I think that's what I was thinking when you said Oliver, because I know that we know some different Olivers and different people. So at the time that you had told me that, I wasn't making the connection. But then when I was doing the editing and doing the thing, I'm going like, wait a minute, Oliver Riera? We worked together. So I remember that he had shot the video, but we had actually worked on an improv group with a ex-girlfriend of mine and all along those lines. So I remember him coming to her house and rehearsing and doing a number of things, including some parades that I did with Gravedigger and Oliver, including doing a whole musical that was not a musical, but like a murder mystery. I think Oliver was part of that. That was based on Marilyn Monroe and like a fictional murder mystery that involved her and everything along that space. But yeah, Oliver is a very talented individual, super great actor, super great comedian, super great radio personality, and all along those lines. So, and he's also, like you said, with the Inspired Voices, very much using his stuff as a tool.
Yo, slow down. Back. He's a comedian.
Yeah, Oliver's a comedian too.
He never told me that. He even thank you for telling me that. See, now I got something on over him now. He never told me he told jokes.
Yeah, he told
That's
jokes.
funny.
He told not only that, but ironically, the episode after you, because I looked at some of the other episodes, is a gentleman named Matt White, and that's his last name, but he's definitely a brother. And that was the interview that Oliver did after you on his show. And that gentleman, who I think is from down east, or he might be from the Raleigh area, was part of that same troupe that I'm talking about. So when I was looking at the clips, I'm going like, wait a minute, then you mean the episode after my friend Zach is Matt, who I also know and everything? So he interviewed a couple of people that I know. But yeah, he's got some comedy talent, and he's definitely got some acting talent as well. So yeah, you're going to have to give him a hard time. But
yo, let's run another clip, man, and see what else I said.
Let's check this out.
Let's see what else I said.
All right, sounds good.
I didn't want to play football. I didn't want to go to school. I didn't want to play sports.
From that moment?
That moment, I did not want to play music.
Really?
I stopped. Right? I stopped for 3 years.
Damn.
And he lived for 3 years. He died when I was 21. I found out when I was 18. He knew he was sick since I was 16.
Right? He didn't like try to like, yeah, get back on the music, man. Like all that stuff.
Because he knew after losing my mother at age 7, like when you throw dirt on your mother's grave at age 7, it's pretty much a wrap. But I overcame that because the struggle and the good people around me didn't let me feel it. I didn't feel my mother's pain until my father died. Because that's when you realize you're an orphan. And I had heard that word in books. A lady came into me and said, oh man, you're an orphan now. And I thought about it. I was like, yeah, she's right. Right. It hit me hard. And see, I had an older stepsister from my dad's first marriage, but she was already doing her own thing. So now I'm 18 years old. I quit the band Man Child. I wasn't on the road. I just kind of did what I had to do to graduate high school because my father always wanted me to graduate high school because he did not. And I remember him sitting in the stands. And by this time, he had shriveled all the way up. You know, it was hot. Sitting in the stands, I got my diploma and I looked at him, man, and I was like, "This for you." And I went home and looked at my drum set. I sold it. I had a chrome Gretsch. I sold it to this guy named John Lapel, one of my mentors. Because by that time I was kicking my mentor's ass. You know what I'm saying? I sold it to him.
But you were in the bands before you quit, right? So like, what did the bandmates say?
Well, Gary New Year's Bonds was only a summertime thing. But the band Man Child, they had replaced me with somebody else because I had started slacking off and my ego had started taking over, which was no good because I thought I was better than what I was, And when you get to that point, that's when you get your ass kicked, because I went to the city and started seeing Dennis Chambers and Billy, all the people that's really, really, really good. And I said, okay, I still got like 5 more levels to go.
Yeah.
Because you don't really learn your instrument unless you're a prodigy. But when you take in the slow training like I did, you don't really get good to you in your mid-30s. You know what I'm saying? And this is facts. So I'm 18 years old. Now I'm responsible for a house.
Yeah.
Don't know how to pay bills. My dad did all that stuff. He is sick, right? I get married. this lady that I was in love with.
Yeah.
18, get married, you know, she moves in the house, you know, had a son, you know, Zachary, I know you in Georgia, right? And Kayla Maya, I love you too. And
At this point, your dad's still alive because you're 18.
he's
right?
still alive. He stayed alive long enough. My son was born at July 31st. My father died September 9th.
My birthday's July 31st.
There you go.
There you
See,
go.
all right.
Hey,
all right,
yeah.
there you go. So when all that happened, right, I had to become an adult overnight.
Yeah.
Now I'm used to kiddie shit, you know, just doing all shit that
Party.
kids do. Partying,
Yeah.
drinking, smoking, hanging out, no responsibility, pocket full of money. Now I got to be a husband, I got to be a father, and I got to be a household person taking care of business. Screwed it all up.
Yep.
Horrible husband,
That's a switch right there, man.
horrible father, and lost the house. My sister didn't speak to me. They thought I was doing drugs, and I really wasn't. It was somebody that swindled the house out from under me, you know, and I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to deal with like family shame. I had to deal with no job. I had no other skills. I played music all my life. So what was I gonna do?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Didn't really understand why I was the way I was. But then after years of therapy, I realized that the loss of my mother and then seeing my father remarry this woman when I was 8 years old, and she came in the house and stole everything and left him sick, which I believe causes cancer. She was there for 2.5 years, wreaked havoc, came in, stole everything, ran up bills and everything,
And then bounced.
and then left. Left us on Christmas with the tree burning. We came home, everything was gone.
Damn.
Yeah,
She
that's
set
what
it
I
up?
went through. That's what I went through at 9 years old.
Damn, dude.
Yeah, man. So my father somehow pulled himself together, right? And he became this pillar of strength, but his weakness showed for the first time. And when his weakness showed for the first time, that's what broke my heart. My father was the strong one, the fish, you know, fixing cars. He used to race cars. Him and my uncle, they did all this stuff. Came from down south, had a good job, was supervising all. Now, I'm like 9 years old, and I didn't mean to jump around, but I can't help it. So now I'm like, okay, music is the only thing I got.
Yeah.
That's why from 9 to like 16, I was
So
balling.
when you said when your dad, when you saw him like not be the strong man anymore, that's when you decided the music is your life.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
when I had to
Yeah.
figure out, okay,
Oh, because you felt like you had to survive on your own.
yeah, exactly. And see, he wasn't there. He worked all the time. And matter of fact, I'm working on a book now called Alcoholics, Bootleggers, Prostitutes, Preachers, and Pimps, because that's what I grew up around. Because my father used to rent rooms in the basement of our house, and that's all that was down there.
Damn.
I called it the den of iniquity. I used to go down there 4 o'clock in the morning, prostitutes, gambling,
Yeah.
people fighting.
Was that how you made his money or something?
No, he would just rent them rooms, but he didn't know what was going on. He kind of knew, but he would take in like people off the street because he felt sorry for him. He was a preacher.
Oh shit.
But see, the one thing back then, kids, we had no say so. You couldn't get away with that now.
Right.
Back then, it was like, hey, you do as I say, you know, not as I do. Keep your mouth shut, keep your eyes closed, whatever you see, right? Because that's how the black community was back then. There was no programs or this or that. You had to take care of people. And he didn't do it on purpose. And some of those people were really good people. They just were like winos. They were like prostitutes. They were like pimps. And they started stealing everything out of the house. Many bikes I had, 10 speeds I had. Some of them was on drugs. And I was telling my father, like, this is just killing me, man. They're doing this stuff. They're doing this stuff. It took them 2 years to realize
But he
the
didn't
effect
believe
it
you?
had on me. It had a big effect on me,
Yeah.
right?
But did he believe you when you were telling him
He
stuff?
believed me, but he was slow to react to it for whatever reason. Whatever the reason was, I still don't know. I've seen things. I've seen people swap wives and everything. You know what I'm saying? Right in front of my very eyes. So I'm a kid growing up with this. So that's why I said, you know, the black community, the church, and all of that. There was a lot of good, but there was a lot of stuff going on behind that curtain that I saw that I shouldn't have seen. And when all this was going on, that's when I was just developing my music. I was like, okay, mom's dead. You know, dad's going through his struggle. I got to deal with all these people in the middle of the night, waking me up, this and that, coming out of the door, slamming this, that, fighting, stabbing, shooting. I dealt with all of that, bro. And that's when I started hitting it hard. That's why he always let me do the music. And to this day, I believe all that stress is what causes cancer. You know, so finally, from 9 to 13, when I was 13 years old, he had got rid of everybody out of the house. It was just me and him.
Why?
And I was like, why did he do it?
Yeah.
Because he realized the effect that it was having on his reputation, on the house itself. He knew my mother definitely wouldn't have rolled like that. You know what I'm saying? And it made it, I guess, possible for him to take a deep breath. Because he hadn't taken a deep breath since my mother died.
Right.
He was the caregiver. And I used to take care of my mother when I was 5 years old.
Yeah, you had to take care of yourself, man. And like you had to grow up fast.
Real fast.
Seeing all that stuff, right?
I grew up so fast, bro. I miss my childhood. This is why on stage I act like a child now. I miss my childhood.
Yeah.
There was no Christmases for me. There were no birthday cupcakes for me. There was no Easter bunnies for me. There was no Halloween candy for me. I had to do everything on my own. Everything. My father was working, and it was just me by the time I was 13. You know, and the other people that was there in and out couldn't depend on them.
Yeah.
And my sister was doing her own thing.
Yo, that's incredible. That's incredible. You guys watching, just tuning in, welcome to Funk from the Front Seat, Not on the Grind TV, every Saturday at 12 p.m. What I was doing today, and my producer, Mr. Mark Lee, agreed that allowed me to do this, was to show you some clips from an interview I did in December, so you guys can really get a chance to know the real person behind the person, and the emotion and spiritual person behind the person. And like I said, it's cathartic for me because I'm watching for the first time what I actually represent, and the good, the bad, the ugly, the highs, the lows, all of it. That's why I wanted you guys to see that, because it's an honor to share, and I know a lot of people out there, are down with me, and I really appreciate that. And I wanted to share this today because next month is our anniversary. So, it's pretty cool. Yo, Mark, you know what I think we should do now?
What?
We got Lisa Lover. I think we should run her song, her video, man. I want to see that. Can you do that? Or you want me to do it?
You can hit that one.
Okay, good. I know. Don't worry, you ain't getting lunch today because I'm going back to bed, bro. For all the people out there watching, thank you for getting up early. I love you. But I'm going back to sleep. But I can't, man. I got stuff I got to do. I'm just messing with you, bro. I wish I could, though. I wish I could. It would be it would be great to go back to sleep. I tell you that. But anyway, we have a lot of people that we've been vibing on lately. LL is definitely one of them, so we love you for that. But Mr. Mark Lee, when I mentioned the part about the Afro-American or Black church, whatever you want to call it, the things that were happening, man. Did you ever see stuff like that in your environment?
Yeah, like I said, actually, ironically, Mom went up with my one of my cousins, Jonathan, as well as what would amount to a second cousin, because my first cousin's let's see, Annika would be the one of her two daughters and everything, but two of them, and Mom and my Aunt Julie, they went up and went to our family church, because there's a family church here, Pine Chapel. So yes, that church environment is very important, even in rural North Carolina. So definitely I saw that connection, and I've even gone to some local churches here in the Raleigh-Durham area and all in that space. But that church connection, and particularly that church connection to our musical community, I definitely
Did you ever see stuff that shouldn't have been going on?
I mean, the kind of family that I got and everything, they were very much keeping us away from that stuff and everything. I'm sure there was some of that stuff going on, but it was not, really put out there and all in that space. I'm sure it was going on, but I don't know that I ever observed it personally myself. I'll just leave it at that and everything. But I'm sure, like, I know some people that are, even to this day, are, church musicians during the day, and they might be non-church musicians on the weekend, and all in that space, and they might be engaged.
But that's okay though, because see, music is music. Doesn't really matter where you play it at, as long as it's uplifting and the Most High to praise. It don't really matter, man. That's why the power of the one is it really is the way to go with the one, But yeah, it's funny because we're showing these clips, of just part of me that you guys might not get a chance to see often, because I kept it to myself for years and years and years.
Hey, Zach, one of the things that I do remember seeing, and I don't know whether you saw it as much there in New York, was that you would have folks that would be going to the nightclubs, and there might be these tent revivals, and then some of the people might be even kind of preaching against folks that are going into the nightclub or going into the spaces and everything. So there was a little bit of that, for lack of a better term, rivalry between the
protesters. And I get it. Like, I've been on both sides of that, so I get it, man. But it's just so funny because when you think about it, you have to really be willing to put yourself on a line to picket something that you probably behind closed doors listen to yourself.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't know, but I can't see how any black household in the country during those times wasn't listening to all the same stuff at the same time. Sam Cooke, or Curtis Mayfield, his early stuff was gospel, but then he transitioned. Or Mahalia Jackson, because I remember my mother used to be playing B.B. King and Mahalia Jackson at the same time. It was just music. It was never a thing where it became a separate thing. You know what I'm saying? Even in church, we knew the church musicians were street musicians, street guys. So I guess it's the same all over, man. It's the same all over.
But Zach, when you were in school, did you have any problem with people that might have one principle and not be having the same principle? Because one thing that I know that my mom was adamant about was that we would play card games or games that had cards, and my grandmother and granddad that were on that side of the family tree and everything were adamantly not wanting those kind of cards in their family circle and everything like that. So definitely they would tell us.
You mean like playing cards?
Like playing cards.
Really? They thought that was evil?
Yeah, they were not fans of that. That was considered evil things to do.
Really?
Yeah.
Hey, to each his own. I ain't mad at it. Everybody got their own way, Yo, so check this out, right? We get ready to set up another vid real quick, right? But I want to run something, so y'all sit back, hang tight, man, and y'all check this out. This is a shout out to my girl on the West Coast.
Oh wish we can all come together on one accord. Chicanos and black folks spread it across the board. No banging, maintaining respect for one another. Cause when it all boils down, we all the same color. Brothers with different mothers, fathers protecting kids. East, west, north and south side beings. Get a power to the people, equally spread it out. The universal breakdown is what life is all about. No rags, toe tags, erase the yellow tape. We can do it right now with no time to waste. No court cases, face it, we get it done. No matter where you at, no matter where you from. Grown men, go 10, fall in perfect. Get it right with the most high, believe me, it's worth it. Lisa Love, Betty Paper with Baldy the old man. Skunk my baby, better get it while you can. Get it.
That is a smoking
Yo,
great
shout out,
video.
Lisa.
That is a great video. I love that video and everything. I do want to clarify something with you, Zach, just really quickly and everything, because I think that he did a little bit of stand-up. But, you know, just like there's different forms of music, there's jazz, there's blues, there's definitely funk, and there's plenty of other musical styles. Comedy also has its different forms as well. So Oliver is really more known for improv comedy, which is kind of like that acting version of sketch comedy, or what people would consider sketch comedy. So that's really what he is known for, not so much the stand-up, because when you said that, I was going like, yeah, I think he did a little bit of that, but he is known because he actually was involved with DSI Comedy, which I think is in Raleigh, and a couple of other troops, including that one that Yvette had formed and everything. But yeah, he is known as a more of an improv comedian. So when you tease him, you have to let it be known, because that's kind of what Jacoby does as well.
Yo, that's what's up. And see, I get that part, because when you said it, I got that. I understood what you meant, you know, but it was just funny because I was picturing him standing up there like, you know, like Dave Chappelle or something telling jokes. I was like, man, I don't know. But I was like, you never know. People got many sides.
True that.
My throat's a little scratchy today.
Well, speaking of scratchy and throat being all of that, there was some very deep stories that you told, and we got plenty of them. We could go for a whole 2 hours if we wanted to, but I wanted to know, did you want to see another one of these powerful interviews? Because I got another short one that I think the folks need to see of you. This might even be the one where you're talking about the airplane, because I know that there's definitely one where you talk about 9/11. That might be the one after this, but did you want to see another one of these in-depth clips and everything, since it is your show?
Who is it?
Huh? You.
Me?
You.
What do you want me to do?
I said, did you want to see another one of these in-depth interviews with you and Oliver? I said, you want to see another clip?
Oh, I zoned out for a minute, bro. I swear to God. I couldn't hear you. I'm listening to you. I heard like, but I remember. I swear that's all I heard. Yes, please. Run another one of those.
Let's run another one of these.
Don't ask me what happened.
My mother died. Right. He was the caregiver, and I used to take care of my mother when I was 5 years old.
Yeah, you had to take care of yourself, man. And like, you had to grow up fast.
Real fast.
Seeing all that stuff, right?
I grew up so fast, bro. I miss my childhood.
Mm-hmm.
This is why on stage I act like a child now. I miss my childhood.
Yeah.
There was no Christmases for me. There were no birthday cupcakes for me. There was no Easter bunnies for me. There was no Halloween candy for me. I had to do everything on my own. Everything. My father was working, and it was just me by the time I was 13. You know, and the other people that was there in and out couldn't depend on them.
Yeah.
And my sister was doing her own thing. Because at the time, I think she had kind of realized what stuff that was happening in that house, and she didn't want her kids involved because they were a little bit older than me. Periodically, she used to come, and I used to go over there on Sundays and hang out with them and play their 45s and listen to the music. But for the most part, she wasn't in that house.
Yeah. Were you a trouble kid? Because like seeing all that stuff, going through all that stuff, you know, you're either thrive or you let it get to you and you go down in life.
I wouldn't say I was troubled, but I would say I was disturbed. I was disturbed.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yes, because I used to just want to be by myself. I used to go up on my roof at night and just lay and look back at the stars and the UFOs and shit going by. And I got to the point where I was better off being alone. I played with my friends. I was sociable, but they would all go home to families. I would just go home to the empty house because my father worked 2 jobs. He worked from like 7 in the morning to 3. He would come home and take a nap till 7, and then go from 7 to 12 to his other job. I was a latchkey kid.
Yeah.
So when the house finally got empty and it was just me, it was crazy hard. I was scared a lot.
Damn, I bet.
I had to cook for myself a lot. And he taught me, my mother taught me, so I was good. But I ended up liking to be alone. Because at that time, I'm 13, I'm processing this music thing. What happened the past 10 years, reflashing over and over my mother's funeral, watching my dad go through stuff, thinking about the people that I saw fornicating in the basement, shooting dice and stuff, smoking weed and stuff, going to school when, I was soaked in piss because I had peed the bed. There was nobody to clean me up, nobody to wash my clothes or nothing.
Yeah.
Right? People used to make fun of me, not the best groomed, but mostly groomed. I took care of myself as best I could. But it was things that my teachers realized. And then they kind of was trying to look out for me. But at that time, again, it was whatever happened in the house stayed in the house. Wasn't like it is now. There were no programs for shit.
Yeah.
You just existed
Deal with
as a kid. Yeah. So once I understood my journey and I started to understand where I needed to go and get on my feet, and I was playing football and pretty decent athlete, whatever, and then the music thing was kicking off, right? I was good because, I was playing. My father was, I thought was healthy. I was touring with Gary Neal's Bond straight out of high school, had a pocket full of money. Then he got sick. Then I got married, kids, and then I stopped for 3 years, right? That's when you say that slide, I hadn't hit rock bottom yet. I hit rock bottom when I slid down and started self-medicating.
In the 3 years? Those 3 years right there?
More than 3.
Yeah.
Like 13.
13, yeah.
From the time I was 21 to the time I was like 35. Self-medicating.
Was that like...
Like, in other words, I never shot heroin.
Because like you were doing drugs beforehand, right?
Yeah, but it was like sociable.
Right.
Now I was doing it to kill the pain. And that's when therapy and psychiatry and psychology in the early 80s had kicked in. Because remember now, my father died in 1979. So coming into the 80s, people started understanding, wow, PTSD and this and that and, what people are going through, traumatic stuff. So I started self-medicating only because I was hanging out with people that was doing it.
Okay, so like the first time you were self-medicating, was that like you were so depressed at that time that you just went with it and then it just became a regular thing?
I was so depressed. It was New Year's Eve. I was driving on the Belt Parkway in New York. I had like a fifth of scotch, right? And I had done a lot of cocaine and I was smoking weed and I let go of the steering wheel.
On purpose?
On purpose. And tried to go as fast as I could in the snow on ice.
So you were trying to commit suicide?
Tried, bro. And because New York, the grooves in the road, the car wouldn't crash. I was like, all I did was slide around. Then bang, I hit a snowbank. I tried so hard to get out of here. Because at that point, I was done.
What was running through your mind after you hit that bank?
I was spared, and I got to continue, unfortunately. Because I was so depressed. I lost my mom, lost my dad. My sister didn't really care. People didn't really care about me. All they wanted was what I was doing musically, I thought. I felt like I was being exploited, playing in all these bands, this and that. But at the end of the day, you walk off the stage, nobody really gives a shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? So I was like fed up. I was like, okay, I done lived a fast life. Boom, I'm out. But it didn't happen that way. And when I smashed into the bank or whatever, right? And I was like, all right. So I go back to an empty apartment. Nothing was in it. Just me. I had gotten divorced at that time. From my first marriage, whatever, right? They had went their separate way. I was really depressed because I wasn't seeing my son. I felt like I had been a lousy father and a lousy husband and all of that stuff because I was always enraged and I was always, always angry. And at the time, I didn't realize I had high blood pressure too, which makes you that way. You know,
Oh, I didn't know that makes you-
high blood pressure makes you very tense and angry. You know, because I wasn't taking care of myself. I was young. I was like young, dumb, and full of you know what.
Yeah.
So when I pulled myself together and I was sitting in that empty apartment talking to myself, and I was like, okay, I need some stability, right? So I got into healthcare.
Interesting. So there's a switch that happened right there.
Right, because I wasn't playing music and never wanted to play again.
Yeah.
I had no desire to play in any band, sing, nothing like that. Got into healthcare, started working at Pilgrim Psych Center. I don't know if that's good or bad.
What made you go there first?
Because they was hiring.
Okay, gotcha.
They was hiring. I needed a job.
All right.
I remember I'm coming out of music. I had no skills.
Yeah.
So at that point, you could just be an orderly. So I got the job there, and I saw things that I was like, holy moly. I thought I was fucking crazy. These people, they locked up for a reason.
Yeah.
You know, and they was like, oh, they took my craziness to a whole nother level. I was like, no wonder y'all are locked up. In my mind, I'm thinking this now because I'm like, that could be me.
Mm-hmm.
I did some of those same things. So the way the universe flipped it on me, it was like, I'm going to show you, like the ghost of the past, ghost of the future thing.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you and put you in an environment where you could be here if you don't straighten out. Boom, it flipped.
Mm.
So I started thinking.
That takes some stress off your shoulders?
No.
No?
All it did was introduce me to more drugs.
Really?
Believe me. Psych Center in the 80s, you get anything you want.
Mm.
You had access to the nurse's station. You could get Vicodin, you get pills, you get whatever you want.
Oh, damn.
You were orderly. You worked in the psych center.
And you were like looking at those people like, I'm never going to be that bad.
Yeah.
But still doing the drug.
Still doing the drugs. Because once you get in that environment, not everybody was getting high, but a lot of people was, because you're dealing with people that have done some really horrific things, and you got to deal with them physically.
Mm.
So you got to be ready at any time. Straight jacketing people, bed jacketing people, dealing with people that's 6'5", 250, that's built, weightlifters and garbage men and people that will rip your head off.
Yeah.
There was this one gentleman, he did something so heinous, we ended up taking him to where David Berkowitz was. You know what I'm saying? In Bellevue. We was on Pilgrim. David Berkowitz, Son of Sam's, thing like that. I worked Psych Secure. So Psych Secure, the only difference between
Yeah, Psych Secure was no joke. I got a flashback of my Pilgrim State days. Just now, I was like, I got a little tense myself just listening to that story. Because I can tell y'all, if you don't know about healthcare and some of the things that people have to go through in their daily job, next time you see a healthcare worker, you need to thank them because it is not an easy job, especially when you're dealing with people that may be aggressive and things like that. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, I was telling that story because back then, it was no holds barred on getting high. Everybody was. It was like, I don't know, just like everybody now is on the internet, it's kind of the same thing. Mark Lee back there is eating something, so, it's all good because I ain't mad at him because I know he's starving because he works so hard, I'm going to put
I got another clip for you, and that's another one.
Hold on. I wanted to read what David Brooks said, what the devil meant for evil, God can turn it around for your good. That's right, and it has happened. I'm a walking, I guess you could say, not miracle, but I'm proof. I guess you could say I testify. So, that's why I talk so much about spirituality a lot. I'm not religious at all. I follow Buddhism, but I just want to be part of the good. But what you gonna say, Mark? Go ahead.
I was going to say, you had some more explanation about that on this next clip, and we can share some of that as well. And then I think I got the one with 9/11. But yeah, we still got some more of these great clips.
Well, do the one with 9/11, that one.
I think 9/11 is the next one after. So let's see if this is the right
I'll
one.
check this out.
Where David Berkowitz was, you know what I'm saying? In Bellevue, we was on Pilgrim. David Berkowitz, Son of Sam's, thing like that. I worked Psych Secure. So Psych Secure, the only difference between us and the CO Psych Secure is we didn't carry guns. But I was vetted to carry
So like a security?
Nah, they call it Psych Secure. I was an orderly. So that means like if you was a patient.
We're gonna get to this one right here. This is the one that is the one that I was looking for. So hold on one second. Here we go.
He said, look
Yeah,
at
I
it from
thought-
that point. Because I was all sad, like I'm playing in some low-down club and I ain't in Madison Square Garden. He said, no. He said, you sitting on your gold mine.
Yeah.
Right? So little things like that come back to me now. And Dennis inspired me. So I didn't win the drum contest, but I was like, I didn't care. I got a chance to talk to Dennis Chambers, you know? He did that on purpose. He inspired me. Then I started dating one of the off group, the Brides of Funkenstein, Sheila. Her name is Amuka Kelly now. She was one of the singers for George Clinton. I started dating her.
Okay.
And yeah, now I'm getting to the good stuff, bro. Yo, you get ready to get it down. Yeah. Dating her, and she was hotsy-totsy, and I'm walking around New York City. I got the bride on my arms.
All right.
Now I'm completely backstage.
Yeah.
Now I am completely upstate where I can't reveal the place, but where the mothership was.
Right.
The real mothership. Yeah. The ship that landed in Madison Square Garden. I'm up there now. And I walk in there, and I was like, I never forget it, because the night before I went to a Wu-Tang concert, right? So I swear to God, it was the weirdest thing. So she's like, yeah, I need a ride upstate. I was like, upstate? And I knew us. She said, yeah, I need a ride. We're rehearsing up there. I was like, let's go, right? Boom. We go up. Gary Scheider, Clip Payne, Skeet Curtis, Gabe Gonzalez, Sheila was there, Bernie Worrell, George Clinton. They all just walking around. And so if somebody brings somebody in, they automatically assume they're cool.
Yeah.
I was cool as a fan. I was like, fly on the wall. I even wrote a song called Fly on the Wall in the Hall of Funk that I still play today. For that's why I wrote that song. For y'all out there that listen to Napier Funk Army music, Fly on the Wall in the Hall of Funk was written because I was up there. Then I understood what it was all about. That's why you notice this song I wrote, United We Stand, would say, you ain't got to be the best, just got to outlast the rest.
Yeah.
I realized it wasn't about how good I was. It was about who you know.
Yep.
It hit me.
Yep.
And they said, yeah, you good enough to play. But George came up to me and said, nah, man. He said, you can hang out with us. He said, but I'm already carrying 3 drummers. I don't need another drummer. So I was like,
damn.
But
that would have been the ultimate, right?
But the best thing him and Bootsy Collins told me to do, he said, and Bernie Worrell too, start your own band. And that's how Napier Funk Army was born. Then he said, I want y'all to play at my birthday party.
Oh.
So we played a George Clinton birthday party, and the rest is history.
Damn, dude.
The rest is history. That was 1998.
Yes, it's who you know, but you also have to learn how to communicate and be social with those type of people and stuff like that, right?
Right, exactly. See, and I hadn't had that. Sheila taught me that. That's why I love it to this day. She said, listen, just be cool. You ain't got to come in like all hyped up, like you chest poked out. No, just come in. And Sheila told me, wherever you go, act like you've been there before. And that was one of the most important things she ever told me. She's up in Detroit now. I love you to death, Amuka. She said, act like you've been there before. I was like, bet. So, at that time, I was in my late 30s. I was starting to understand the game, And I said, all right, I put together a band. We played George Clinton's birthday party. I understood the game then because once you understand the rules of the game, you could play it better.
Yeah.
It's like the Golden State Warriors. They became this dynasty, but they started out losing first. You got to lose first before you can win.
Right.
You got to not necessarily bottom out like I did, but you got to be able to humble yourself. See, and I was always a humble kid, but then there was a part of me that had that arrogance. Because I did go out so early. I was playing in front of the Tramp so early. I did tour with Gary and the U.S. Bomb so early. I had a residency at the Twin Towers, the Waldorf Astoria, the Manhattan Center. We played in front of George Thorogood. I was playing in cover bands, one of the best in New York City, which is still around today, Creations Music. It was a wedding company. We played for everybody. Whoopi Goldberg, John Leguizamo. We played high-end stuff. We traveled to Mexico, traveled to Hawaii. I did all of that. So my ego was there, but playing pop music. But I always wanted to be here with the funk. So then once I realized how to fuse the two and get my mind right, because my mind wasn't right. I had been through so much as a child.
Yeah.
I had been through all this traumatic stuff. I'm working for the Carmelite nuns, and I'm trying to put together a funk band and still record my own ideas. I still hadn't, now remember, I hadn't recorded anything yet. I played on 2 gospel records, but I hadn't personally recorded anything. Nappy Head didn't even have a record out when we started playing.
Yeah.
And I had to redo the group. You know how it is. You put people here, you put people there.
Yeah.
So once I did that, right, and I realized my purpose, Jerry Germont got me into the Buddhism, and Jerry Germont took me to this place called Stream Ring, and you'll hear that on my record. And guess who was there? Madonna's guitar player.
Oh, shit.
Paul Pesco.
Mm-hmm.
He had a studio in there. And Madonna used to give him all the equipment after every tour. All the stuff on the top of the shows was Madonna, Madonna, Madonna. I was like, ooh. So Jerry says, listen, Paul, this guy Zach, whatever, he wants to, do some work and hang out, whatever, right? I got a job doing voiceovers.
Really?
All the Angels, Edward Hawkins, California, come see his mass choir. I was doing voiceovers, bro.
There you go.
Yeah, so.
Look at that voice.
Yeah, right. I need voiceover work. Hey, hire me. I can do it. I can sound white.
Got that white voice in him.
Hey, I can do that, So I'm hanging out with Paul Pesco, and, we trading ideas. I'm learning MIDI and production from him. That's why I worked so well with Mo. I learned it way back then.
Okay.
And we were the first, and I'm proud of this, the Nappy Head Funk Army was the first black rock funk band on Long Island to stream live with this company called Stream Ring. We were the very first ones, and Long Island will not recognize us for that, nor are we in the Long Island Music Hall of Fame, which is a travesty, but that's okay, because guess what? I'm going into the Dayton Funk Hall of Fame in 2024.
There you go.
Up in Ohio.
There you
But that's
go.
a side note. But so once I was around these people, I got Jerry Germont, played on everything Aretha Franklin did. Paul Pesco, Madonna's music director. I was like, okay, I must arrive. I'm hanging out with P-Funk. I'm dating Sheila. You know what I'm saying? And by that time, Sheila and I had broke up, but we still stayed friends. I still had the connections, right? I'm picking up George Clinton from the airport, picking him up from, when he came through, Gary Scheider in Maryland, taking trips, this and that, behind stage. And I'm seeing my friends in the audience. They're like, damn, how you get backstage? I was like, yo, I got like, come on. What? Oh, yeah, I'm up here.
Wait, hold on. So, like, with all of this going on right now, were you consciously aware of everything that's really happening? And were you careful about not to fuck anything up?
Good question. I was consciously aware because I had worked with people that couldn't even help themselves in a nursing home. So it gave me, the creator made me go back and relearn humility. And once I relearned humility, that's why all these guys to this day are my friends and I could be around them. That's why I'm in the funk now. Bootsy made me this and that and the third. Because I came in, when I came back, I was ready physically and mentally. So to answer your question, I was consciously ready. I was still excited and happy, but I didn't need to play drums for George Clinton then. All I needed was his validation to start my own stuff because he knew I knew all of his stuff.
Yeah.
And then some of his cats was like, yo, you pretty nice. You should do your own thing. And then little by little, right, I realized it's that consciousness that you said, my spirit in this earth suit wasn't ready before. That's why I couldn't get it.
Yeah, it was split up.
Right. Once I came together on both sides, then I knew I wasn't going to fuck it up because there was nothing else for me to do but that.
Yeah.
And they validated me. They said, listen, you one of us. You do you. You go out, start your band, do warm-ups. We opened up for Living Color a lot. Corey and them became friends of mine, and Vernon Reed, good friends of mine. My guitar player that plays with me, Andy, plays with them. So it was like, oh, you guys are ready to do this stuff, And when all of that happened, that's when I was getting better band members. Kevin Harrington came in on drums. William Press Bush came in on keyboards. Tanya Tillett and Pat Dioria came in on vocals. The band got better. Carlton Collier, rest in peace. I just buried one of my bass players this past summer. He came in. I started working with 2 bass players, which nobody was doing back then. Dumpster Funk does it now. But
Speaking of
Yeah,
videos
man.
and all of those guys, hey, I did find what I was looking for because you do great voiceovers, including those great acting voices. So this is the clip I was looking for because this is you doing your impersonation of an airplane. So this is us at 9/11. So I want you to check this out, Zach, because you do a really good job of an impersonation of an airplane. So check this out.
I will.
What?
You're killing me.
Damn.
9/11.
Fuck.
We were right there. And then the world changed. No longer do people give a shit about music. Music, if you think about it, between 2001 and 2005, the arts were dead.
Really? I mean, it seems hard to believe. I mean, I understand why, but it seems hard to believe because music is music. It's
people
resonance.
played it, but the first year and a half, 2 years, you got to remember, New York was burying thousands and thousands of people every day.
Yeah.
So a lot of the places in the village were right around the Twin Towers. I worked in the Twin Towers. I had a residency there with Creations Music for like 5 years. Every Tuesday night, we would be there jamming up top. All of that was gone, you know, and a lot of the clubs started weaning out. CBGB's eventually closed. Wetlands eventually closed. The Red Lion eventually closed. Club Life, where we played with Taylor Dane, eventually closed.
What was going through your mind, man? When all that stuff was
depression.
is settling back in.
Depression.
The what you went through before started coming back.
Depression. For me, and I was part of the Black Rock Coalition, BRC. Every famous black rock musician was in it. Fishbone was in it. Living Color was in it. We used to play in gigs. We used to play with these people. The late, great Ronnie Jordan. All of these people, right? We was in that thing, right? And once the city of New York, the pulse, the heartbeat changed, a lot of people gravitated towards DC because DC always had their go-go thing. That's the heart of Chocolate City. That's the heart of funk. It wasn't New York. It was DC, Chocolate City. That's the heart of funk. Plainfield, New Jersey is where a lot of them came from, besides Bootsy and them, Ohio. But Ohio and DC, Zapp came from Ohio, Isley Brothers, Bootsy Collins, Lakeside, all from Ohio, you know, Slave. Then Prince came out and doing his Minneapolis thing. So there were different parts of the country now that was just as good, if not better, than New York when it came to opportunities. A lot of people left. They went here, they went there.
Yeah.
The music, Broadway, and all of that stuff took a hit too because they had to kind of shift. No longer could you go out and be funny and be fun. Even comedians changed their stuff because New York was on the serious rebuild tip.
Yeah.
You got this big mass pile of metal the size of 5 football fields sitting downtown, smoldering still. We did a benefit shortly after. It was like 27 days later. We actually had a gig booked before that happened at NYU. And we went and turned that gig into a benefit. You know, things like that were happening.
Right.
So it became more serious.
Yeah.
I became more serious. I got married. So, let me get married. Got married, right? And had kids, you know, moved to Virginia, you know, to get away from all of that, you know.
Wait, so all that was happening and you decided to bounce and just.
Yeah, it was best for us.
Really?
It was, because
you had all those connections.
Yeah, they were there and it was cool. But again, all of those artists that I'm talking about all went overseas and I couldn't go. You know, a lot of people left New York, you know,
Gotcha.
they did other things and MTV was popular. Videos came out. No longer was the live thing at the top, the cherry. The live thing had dropped down to say where the chocolate is. There was still whipped cream and then the cherry. The live thing had dropped down because people were like, funk is cool. You're jumping around, you're dancing, but I lost my cousin in 9/11. I ain't interested in this shit.
And we got music videos now. And all that.
The digital age came in.
Yeah.
So we used to sell CDs out of the trunk of our car. Now I got this thing called MySpace that I got to deal with. And then now this thing called Facebook comes out. I got to deal with that. You know, so, you know, what was that thing? The Monster, the Monkey, whatever, you could bootleg songs off of. You know what thing I'm talking about?
Yeah, like
had
LimeWire and stuff like that.
Yeah, but there's another one that was a famous one that had an animal name.
Yeah, I can't remember. I know
Yeah,
what you're
right.
talking about. I
Monkey or
used to have
Monster,
it.
whatever that
Yeah.
was, that came out, and people are bootlegging music.
Yep.
So there was a lot that changed. And again, we had recorded our first CD, Funky for Life, and put that out. We selling it out of the trunk of our car and selling it on CD Baby, right? And it was getting some sales, getting some airplay, but it wasn't the same because we couldn't really perform like we wanted to because there were no places to perform.
So obviously that means that you had to like switch it up.
Mind if I take a sip of it?
All right, go for it. Yeah, you had to, at that point, you can't be doing the same thing. You have to switch things up, right?
Switch it up, right?
Is that what you kind of planned at?
I didn't plan it that way, but nature, again, takes its course because the universe always had a plan for me to be sitting here with you right now. We get married, moved to Virginia, lived there for 8 years. Marriage is cool. My kids are great, but it ain't working. We moved to North Carolina. Now I'm out of touch with my band. I go back and do one benefit for my friend who had died, Nathan King, and we did it for Long Island Coalition for the Homeless. We go back, I put the band back together, we do the benefit, right? They all were gracious enough to do it. I went back down south, and there was no music in Virginia. It was Virginia Beach, but I wasn't playing, right? I auditioned for some pop bands and played a few times in Virginia Beach, but it sucked. I didn't like it. So we moved here. Now, I don't know nobody here.
Why?
Because my ex wanted to be here because her family moved here.
Okay.
So we moved to North Carolina in 2013.
Okay.
Got divorced in 2014. Now I'm without my kids, without my family, second family, right? Second time I'm divorced. North Carolina. Don't know anybody. And I didn't know anybody. And I'm on my own. Again.
Going back to that childhood, huh?
Boom. Right? I'm living out in the Southern Pines. Right? Depressed. I had ruined my life, jacked up my marriage, right? I'm really depressed. I'm like, all right, it's time. This time is really time for me to go, right? I had bought a shotgun. I'm laying on the bed. My kid's picture here, and I got long arms, right? Kid's picture here. My ex-wife's picture's here. I'm laying on the bed. Boom, shotgun in my mouth. And I can reach the trigger. So I'm right there. And I'm like, well, this is gonna be it.
Yeah, that was some dark times, right? And I ain't really wanting to get into that like right now, but that was some stuff, and sometimes first moving here that had me in a different place, which I'm in a much better place right now. But that was like the lowest point of the second time around for me, and the reason why I'm not really into talking about that like right now on this particular show is because that's a whole nother show that I'm going to do when it comes to suicide prevention, and I wanted to save that clip for that. It's not like I'm afraid to talk about it. It's just that I wanted to save that clip for that. So you'll see that at another time. But basically, by the time I moved here, and here it's cool and everything because I love it. It's like it's cool. There's no stress and nothing like that, or there's things going on. But the music scene here, keeping the funk alive, I feel is my mission now. So that's why. I think that the universe has me here right now to help rebuild and revitalize that whole funk movement, because it does need to be revitalized down here. It's not nearly as many opportunities, for funk bands, especially pure funk bands, that are homegrown or whatever. I don't know a lot of them, but it's not really a lot. What are your thoughts on that, Mark, about venues in North Carolina and things of that nature, as you would say?
Yeah, you got a couple of venues that are doing things, and we got some new ones that are opening up, like Missy Lane is trying to do some stuff, but she's more jazz oriented. And of course,
but first of all, tell us the name of the place and where it is.
Missy Lane is here in Durham. It's in downtown. It's near First Presbyterian, and it's Cicely, who was one of the organizers, along with Al Strong of the Art of Cool, put this venue together and everything. The Fruit is not that far from the old ballpark, and they've done some shows that have tried to have a couple of funk bands. And I know you played the Pinhook, so there are a couple of ones that are older and everything. So there are venues and even motor codes that definitely there needs to be a greater scene, and there definitely needs to be support for what exists, and definitely in terms of funk, and definitely even some genres that I like the blues. There definitely needs to be more efforts. But I've also heard, because I've talked to a friend of mine recently, that there's some people that are trying to put together some festivals. Like they tried to do this Bull City Summit last year, but now those people are getting into some trouble because there's some things wondering, what happened to the money and whether the thing was organized correctly and all in that space. Because apparently there was an article that definitely painted them in a negative light, and I've got to do some more research and everything. But then there's people that are trying to do a Roots Festival. I think that the lady from the Carolina Chocolate Drops and maybe even Reese are trying to get involved in that as well. So maybe we can get a funk festival going as well, because they're trying to get some new festivals, and there are apparently some new ones that they're trying to build in the downtown area. And apparently the city has got some money for some of those as well. So they definitely need to be some, as you like to say, increased opportunity. So I would agree with you on that. And even one thing that frustrates me is that they will have venues, and then sometimes after the venue closes, then they won't use the space. Because I know even here in Durham and in Raleigh, and I would even argue Chapel Hill, there are schools that used to exist. And so those schools would, of course, have auditoriums. And sometimes those auditoriums are not being used at all. And sometimes even have the old equipment in there. So I won't say the old.
But why do you think the bulk of places that are predominantly minority owned, that were once or are trying to be fledgling opportunities for artistic venues, they aren't attracting the big sponsorship for the money? Is it flat out that they are not trying hard enough? Are they not looking in the right spots? What is the issue?
I mean, there are a couple of issues. There can be everything from sometimes people price themselves out, because even the venues that I mentioned and everything, they're going. They have a membership model, and that membership I think starts at like about $100 or a couple of $100, and not everybody can afford those kind of memberships and all in that space and
So
everything.
it's economics then.
It's like a lot of it is economics. It's definitely economics, whether it's on the
So,
side.
so let me ask you this: how do places in other cities strive?
I mean, well, sometimes they have the support of big time investors. They have the support.
That's my point. Okay, so that's my point. So why aren't these people going after investors like that? They don't have to live here to be an investor.
No, they do go after investors like that, but sometimes the investors are wanting to see a business plan. They wanting to see a proof record, and they want to see a track record. And not everybody that is doing these venues has that track record.
Yeah, but see, in other cities, they don't go by that.
That's other cities. Like I said, the urban cities have a little bit more capital that they are able to give out because they have a greater pool.
That's my point. That's why I'm leading you down this path, because I want to know, why can't one of those paths simply veer off to where the urban city money is?
Like I said,
it seems like it would be a simple move to me.
It depends on whether right now some of that money is going toward other projects. I mean, probably it is going to your other passion, because every time I turn around, there is new things that are being built and everything. And a lot of that is that gentrification. So whether it's new housing or whether it's new office buildings or new whatever. I mean, you've driven downtown, you've been downtown, you've seen these new buildings that are popping up left and right, but I don't know that they are getting the support in terms of the venues getting that kind of money and everything. So yeah, the city probably could do some more money. I mean, one of the things that North Carolina, particularly Durham and even Raleigh, prides itself on is being a cultural town and cultural cities. I mean, one of the biggest festivals was actually it just had its third year in the old Dorothea Dix venue, and that was Dreamville. But that was a rapper, J. Cole, that put that together. And of course, he's got his.
Yeah, so I went up there. I was over in that area. Right. So that's that. But that is what I'm talking about. See, for hip hop and rap, that's a whole nother animal. So they are able to do that 4 years in a row, and that thing had 50,000 people a day.
But part of that was J. Cole is also a multi-million-dollar recording artist. So
I know him favorite. I know the whole history on the.
But I'm saying he self-funded that. A lot of that was self-funded by J. Cole.
I know it was, but there were sponsors, but a lot of it was self-funded because again, that's the exception to the rule. See. Right. So why can't some of that money be funneled back towards R&B and funk?
I mean, it probably could be funneled back to R&B and funk. I mean, there have been a couple of attempts. I mean, as you know, next month will be Bembe in May, and that's been going on for decades now. And that is supposed to be one of the R&B festivals of the area.
Where is it at?
Well, it started at Central. Actually, it started first at the old Hillside Park. Then it went to Central, and now it is and has been for several years out at.
Where's it going to be this year?
It's at the county stadium. It's been county stadium for the last several years.
Where?
County Stadium. In Durham
County
County, in Durham County at County Stadium, which is out there by the Durham Hospital, Durham Regional. It's out there by Durham Regional.
Okay, yeah, I don't know where that is. Interesting. Anyway, we want to thank everybody. Today was an interesting show. It's our last one of May. The last one of April. So please join us in 2 weeks. Next week, I'm going to do a rerun because I'll be at that rally speaking, doing a speech, and I'll give you some live footage from there on my Funk from the Front Seat Facebook page, so y'all can tune into that. I want to thank everybody this past year that has chimed in with us, that has been on the thread, that has made these awesome comments. Shout out to LL, I love you. Shout out to Cindy, Dr. Brookenstein, Sonia Murphy, George DeFonga Vinci, April Panthers, shout out to Kevin Harrington. Shout out to all the people that continuously help pump this thread and push it through. And my homegirl, last but not least, Teresa and the line dancers and everybody around the Boosie Collins Club, Funketeer and Peppermint Patty. Shout out to all you guys for keeping the funk alive. We're trying to do it here the best we can. Funk from the Front Seat, Not on the Grind TV, every Saturday, 12 p.m. I'm going to show you something, and then I'm going to end with United We Stand. But I wanted to show you a clip of my dog, Milo Z. Mark, I wanted to run this.
What's happening? Where's everybody going? Seems like everybody's fleeing New York. Let me hit up my boy Frank, see what's happening.
Somebody calling me? Yeah, what's up, Bob?
Hey man, what's happening? Do me a favor, come pick me up. Meet me at the spot. Seems like everybody's fleeing New York. I want to know what's going on.
Cool, I'll come.
All right, peace. What's up, man? Y'all ready?
Ready?
You late?
Say New York City is burning, and it running from us. Fire. Yeah, my city is hurting. With 11, ain't no loving, none for us. Fire. So New York City is burning, and it running from us. Fire. Yeah, my city is hurting. Ain't no love for us. I hear some people say, damn, I need a holiday. I need to fly away, cause New York has had a stay. Now on our own, but the city's still my home. Does anybody know just what is going on? Yeah, fire. New York City is burning, and it running from us. Fire. Yeah, my city is hurting. With loving, ain't no loving for us. I hear some people put us down, calling us a broken town. But take a good look around. New Yorkers always hold their ground. Before you go and cast a doubt, before you go and run your mouth, find out what it's all about. Don't ever count us out. No, fire. New York City is burning, and it running from us. Fire. heart. But you know you won't be going too far. Yeah, you know you won't be going too far. Cause you know it's still a piece of your heart. Yeah, New York's still a piece of your heart. But you know you won't be going too far. Yeah, you know you won't be going too far. Cause you know it's still a piece of your heart. Yeah, you know it's still a piece of your heart. New York City, you know you won't be going too far. Yeah, you know you won't be going too far. Well, cause you know it's still a piece of your heart. Yeah, New York's still a piece of your heart. New York City.
I love that, man. That's my dog. Shout out, man. We support you down here, man. Milo, I love you, dog. Really, really appreciate you, man. And you stand tall, man, for what you believe in, bro. That's what's up. Yeah, man. So I want to say thank you to everybody. You guys have been great. I know the show will be aired again at 6 and 9 o'clock and whatever Mark does it. Mark, thank you again for a great year. My God, I can't believe it's been another year, bro. We're going into year number 4.
Anniversary number 4, and you already got all kinds of amazing fans. I didn't get a chance to shout them out, but I saw that April Pants was giving you a thumbs up as well as us a thumbs up. Thomas Hamright was watching as well and gave a like, as did Curtis Wilcox and James Jones. And then you got some love from Michael Patterson and Cindy K. Lane, and you got some care from Elizabetta. So definitely all kinds of folks.
Thank you. I appreciate all you guys, man. You guys, you've been with me through thick and thin. And one thing y'all can say about me, I'm always gonna keep it real. I'm transparent. Of course, I keep some things to myself, but I'm transparent because that's how God wants to use me. Years ago, people used to think that I was going to be a minister, and I always said no. I said, but He's going to use me in another way, and I think I'm able to share my stories with people. That's what's up, Brooks. Thank you, man. Yeah, anybody wants to send a 4-year shout out, anniversary shout out, man, just send it to me. Y'all know how to reach me, Facebook Messenger, and please, send me a little clip of video. I'd love to hear from you guys so we can run them on the show. I really do. So everybody, James and Elizabeth and April Panthers and, all the other brothers and sisters that are watching, man, please send me some stuff, man. So shout out, 4-year anniversary, and we're going to run a whole show on that like we did last year and the year before. So that's kind of cool, man. And again, united we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. So I'll see you all in 2 weeks, but we are going to have a show next week. It's going to be a rerun. I haven't decided which one because I'm speaking at that rally. But again, man, and I'm playing next Friday night as well at Shikori Hills. If you're in the 919 and y'all want to come see and get some of this funk that we're doing, y'all can check this out. Shout out to everybody. My producer, Mr. Mark Lee, like I said, always with me through thick and thin. I love the brother, man. So united we stand, divided we fall. I will see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace.
Hey, yo, man, what time is it? You know what time it is, man. 2 a.m.? Yeah, man. Man, you know what? What's that? It's 8:46, bro. Wow, that's deep. Yeah, you know what time that is. Yeah, man. Nappy head. Yo. Funk Army. What's up? Stand up. Get in line, y'all. Yo, drop that beat. You know what we gotta do. Yeah, man. We bringing this funk just for you. Repeat after me. Say, you don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best, you don't, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. I'ma say that again for you. United we stand, divided we fall. our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Here we go, y'all. Now let me tell you a little story about United We Stand. It says we're gonna funk across this funkless land. We gon' stand up and let our voices be heard. We ain't gonna let nobody stop us from spreading the spiritual word. The ruthless corporate greedy don't give a damn about the needy. We need everybody in the house to join us on this one, all right? Y'all say, united we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Are y'all out there? You feeling me? United we stand. Come on, y'all. Divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Yeah. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. United we stand. Divided we fall. With the poor people most of all, as they poison our mind with food control. Third eye is wise, sacrifice. Wake up and see what they doing to you and me. Keeping a separate product of Illuminati, like the jail cell did my boss John Gotti. Dirty politics and high-priced prostitution reside in all the important positions. Just look around at the injustice in the world. Some forced to live in a deplorable conditions. Watch what we do. This rap is coming up just for you. So sit back, relax, check out our phone calls. The nappy hip-hop car be always bumping in your drum. Twitter, tweet, the TikTok. The ruthless corporate greedies don't give a damn about the needies. A movement, genocide and homicide is happening all around the world. Promise me this, promise me that, when all the fat cats stabbing us in the back. Man, get off my back, bro. Killing me. Let me see you wave your hand. We all wanna take the stand. Rise up against the corporate man. Let me head all across this land. Oh yeah. Nothing but this new type funk 2022. Let me see you wave your hands. We all wanna take the stand. Rise up against the corporate man. Let me head all across this land. Come on, y'all. Come on, man. United we stand, divided we fall. One more time. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together.
Y'all have a good one. And one more shout out right here. Funk Crown Con, Funk Exhibition Center, Funk Hall of Fame, and David Weapon, all the people at P-Funk Radio, and, you know, all the people throughout this whole year that have made this journey special. And we're going to continue this for a minute. So we'll see what happens, man. I'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Peace.